Alright, so then go ahead, make sure you X out the right page, because we're not gonna use that one. And you turn the page, and that says factorization, by the way. It's FACTOR. I mean, if you want to. Alright, I'm gonna come around and check your homework. Please have your notebook open. Or be ready to flip to it when I get there. Guys, when I put on the board, if you didn't finish the homework from last night, work on that first, like, what on earth are we doing? Like, it's on the board, I'm telling you to do it. There's not a single person in this room that should not have their homework done. Did you do any information other than the ones we did together? What did you do at the end of class today?
Colleen Taylor, please report to the office. Colleen Taylor, please report to the office.
Well, do you want one for today, because we have 4 pages? Do you want to grab one off the shelf? Go grab one. Where's 8? That's 1. Where's 8? You have to do 8? 9. You're the second person in class. Bless you. That's your birthday. Where's your birthday? It's not a big deal. Baby, there's no way you have these answers if you didn't do the work, unless you just went online and copied it. But if you do that, the answers are online. Again, I don't get it. Had I not put that on the board, I'd understand if, like, we don't have people with homework done. But the fact that it's on the board and every single person in here was doing Imagine Math instead of doing their homework. Alright, make sure, if that's how you do the work on the number page, you do it on the number page, just so you're not wasting your math, okay? So you don't have your thing. I mean, that's not if you do it smarter, you didn't do that. Alright. Alright, go ahead, turn the page, and the next two pages you also need to fill out. And then you are gonna need a pair of scissors. Yes, go ahead.
So yesterday we sent out, like.
Hold on a second. Everyone stop what you're doing, look up and listen, please.
So yesterday we sent out a Google form for yearbook. If you could just fill it out, it's like 2 or 3 questions. It should be on like your home screen. It's just called yearbook survey.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright, real quick, everybody get your iPads out. Go to your home screen. Hit this on real quick so that we don't have to forget. You did it yesterday? Okay, if you did it yesterday, fantastic. If you did it, just go ahead, do it real quick, please. Exit. Alright, go ahead and cut out around the tree. It does not have to be perfect, so just Alright, so across the top, you need to write to find the prime factorization of a number use a, and then across the top of this, write factor tree. And then you're gonna put just a little bit of glue right here. You're not gluing the whole tree down, you're just gonna glue the top part down so that you can flip up this part. Okay? Does anybody know what a prime number is? What do you think it is, Aiden?
A number that's only divided by one.
Yes. So, divided or multiplied? Essentially, yeah. So a number that can only be multiplied or divided by one and itself. Alright, so ultimately, the prime factorization tree, or the prime factorization of a number, is you're trying to get it down to where it can only, the numbers at the bottom, and you'll see, are prime numbers. Alright, so what about a composite number? What do you think a composite number is? Haley?
It's basically the opposite of a prime number. It has multiple factors.
Yep. So a number that can be multiplied or divided by more than one and itself. Alright, so those are key factors that you are going to need to know in order to find the prime factors. And you could use as many different colors today as you would like. Just make sure that whatever I write in black, you are writing with your pencil. Alright. So a prime factor. So across the bottom here. So prime factor is a factor. I have some cadets coming. Will you just crack it?
Okay.
You make me claustrophobic when you shut my door.
No, sorry.
I have to breathe.
So the director of safety
Says I have to.
doing checks, and he's gonna come in at random points.
And yell at me. And be like, thanks. Thanks, Coffee.
I'll keep it cranked then.
Okay, thank you. Alright, so a factor that is a prime number. Alright, so now we're going to actually do a factor tree. We're going to find the prime factorization of a number. So, did everybody get this part before I move on? Stand up if you're done with what we've written so far. That will kind of gauge how fast I can say it. Oh, no.
To have your attention, please. Will our volunteers for our cadets today from the high school please come to the office? Janaya, Christopher, Michaela, Payson, and Malik. Thank you.
Alright, so go ahead and have a seat. So fold up the trunk part of your tree. Actually, I lied. Fold it back down and draw the outline of your tree so you kind of know to keep your information under your tree. Then fold it up. Sorry about that.
Keep going on the tree.
Alright, so the number that we're going to be trying to figure out the prime factorization for is 48. Now, GCF plays a big, actually knowing your factors plays a big role in this because essentially you have to think, okay, what times what will give me 48? So what is one set of factors that we can multiply together to give us 48?
6 and 8.
Alright, so I'm going to do 6 times 8. Now looking at 6 and 8, do either one of those only work for one in itself? No. 6 has more than one set of factors and 8 has more than one set of factors. So for 6, what are the two numbers that we can multiply together to get 6? Ronnie?
3 and 2.
3 and 2, and then what's the other one? Like the other set of factors. So we have 3 and 2, and then what else can we multiply together to get 6?
Oh. 6 and 1?
6 and 1. The 6 and 1 you don't want to use because what's going to happen if you do 6 and 1, you're going to end up dividing that 6 again, right? So we're going to do 2 times 3. Now, with 2, it is the only even number that is a prime number. Why? Why is it the only even number that's a prime number?
Because it can only be multiplied 1 times 2. Like 2 times 2 is 4.
Right. So it's the only even number that is only 1 times 2. Those are the only factors they have to make up 2. Alright, so we're going to circle that one in our color telling us, hey, that one's done. We're not separating it anymore. Alright, what about 3? What are the factors for 3? Aiden.
1 times 8.
So is that a prime number also? Because it's only 1 in itself, right? So I'm going to circle that one, which means my 6 is done. Okay, I'm done with 6. I found 2 prime numbers because ultimately you want to get down to only prime numbers. Alright, so now let's look at 8. So what 2 factors can we multiply 8 by, or can we multiply to get 8? I said that wrong. Cristiano.
4 times 2.
And
1 times
And we're not gonna use 1 times 8, right? So we're gonna do 4 times 2. Well, what did we just learn about 2? What did we just learn about 2? It's a prime number. So we know that we're done with 2, but then 4. 4 is an even number, which tells us it cannot be a prime number. So what are we gonna do with 4? What are we gonna do with 4? What are the factors of 4? Kaya? And? Right, and we're not using the 1 and 4, so we're gonna do 2 times 2, and we know that 2 is a prime number. So now that you have circles at the end of every one of your numbers, you essentially have found the prime factorization. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we're gonna do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and then what's the only other number left? 3. Alright, so that's one way to write it. What do you think is another way to write prime factorization? I'll give you a hint. Look at the next title of the next page in your notebook. How else do you think we could write that on the bottom? Kaya? Yes. So 2 to the 4th power times 3, which will give us the exact same thing, right? All right. My next question for you. Is this the only way we can find 48? Are there other factors for 48? Do you think we're still going to get the same numbers though? All right, so let's go ahead and let's give it a try. So outside of your factor tree, I want you to write 48 again. And now I want you to give me 2 other factors that we can multiply together to get 48. Kaylee. All right, so I'm going to do 12 times 4. All right, are either one of those prime numbers? And again, how do we know if they're a prime number or not? Raise your hand and tell me. Levi. Not if they're even, that means they're a composite number. Not necessarily if they're odd, because yesterday with 85 and 51 you learned what? There's more than one factor to them, right? So what is a prime number? It's right here on your page. What is a prime number? Delilah.
A number that can only multiplied or divided by itself.
Right, and both of those we have more than one set of factors. All right, so 12. Someone raise your hand and give me 2 factors for 12. Jonathan.
6 and 2.
I don't want to do 6 again.
4 and
4 and 3? Okay. So 3 times 4. Jonathan, what do we know about 3? It's a prime number. All right, and then we have 4. So what 2 numbers are we going to multiply together to get 4? Ronnie?
2 times 2.
And what do we know about 2?
They're both
Okay, so both prime numbers. And then obviously this one is going to be very similar to the one we just did. So do we get the same answer even though we use different numbers? Yes, we do, because we still have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 equals 48 for 2 to the 4th times 3. So either way, you're getting the same answer. That is prime factorization. Okay? The hardest part about today is the fact that you have to know how to multiply. And if you struggle with multiplication, you're going to struggle with this, right? All right, you're going to need your scissors again. This is going on the next page, your exponent notes page, your review. What did I say?
exponents and question.
Okay. All right, so once you get your paper, go ahead and cut out the square around the very outside, not the inside. So with this one, you are cutting around the very outside. Okay. Once you have that done, give me a thumbs up. Because this next part is gonna be a little bit more tricky. So thumbs up when you have this done, this cut out. Don't worry about throwing your trash away right now. We'll have plenty of time to do that later. Why are you throwing that little piece of paper? Alright. This is where it's gonna get a little difficult. You have to cut. Everyone put your scissors down so you are looking up here and you know exactly what you're cutting. You are cutting around the bold line of the 6 and the bold line of the 3. What I recommend you do, and be very careful, is on your notebook, take your pencil, or take your scissors and put a little hole in the corner, and then cut along that bold line. And it's not gonna be pretty, but it's gonna get the job done. Alright, and then do the same thing for the 3. And then stand up when you have this done. Like I said, I know it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but it will get the job done. You can have a seat at one of the tables, you can sit back here, you can sit on one of the chairs, or you can walk around. Yes, Jonathan? Huh? Okay, whatever works for you, son. I don't care. Like, honestly, just don't cut your fingers off. That's the most important thing at this point. Alright, and then this is going to go on, like I said, that next, I totally put this on the wrong page. You know. It's going to go on your exponents review page. Alright, stand up when you have this done. All right, you should be standing when you're finished. Did you put that? And if you feel confident, make sure your flaps are up, and you can even go ahead and glue it down. So you're gluing around the flaps. Just don't glue those flaps down because you are going to need to, yes. So it should essentially look like this. Glue down with the flap up for the 6 and the 3. I'm gonna give you about 20 more seconds and then we're gonna move on. Leave out any finished then? Should be standing up then. Alright, so I apologize, y'all. I glued our notes on the wrong page. So real quick before we go any further, just simply erase practice and put notes. So I am so sorry about that. Too many pages today apparently. And then where your notes is on this page, just go ahead and erase that and put practice.
What if we put it on the right page?
If you put it on the right page, then you are good to go. You are more intelligent than I am.
Okay. Good to know.
A little sad you let me just keep rolling though. Good
I
on
didn't
Hayden's
know.
game.
I didn't realize what page you were on. I don't pay attention to pages.
Clearly, neither do I.
I just glue it and say, here you go.
All right. So let's talk about exponents. What do we know about exponents? We have dealt with them a little bit this year. So what do we know about them? Nothing. Jonathan, what do we know?
Multiplying the number by itself, how many times the exponent.
Right, so that's very, very important. So with an exponent, you multiply the number by itself that many times. Now, essentially, the number by itself, do we know what we actually call that number? So if you're looking at your two numbers here, which number are we multiplying by itself? Camden, do you know what we call the 6 usually? Alright, so this is usually called your root number or your base number. Alright, so your 6 is the base number or the root number. I don't really care what you refer to, or the big number or the bigger number at this point, just so that you know the difference between the two. Alright, thumbs up when you have that part written down. Thumbs up when you have this written down so I know I can move on. Alright, so then what does your exponent do? So if this is your root or your base number, what does this exponent do then? It's kind of already in your definition. So for, like, if we did this as an example, 6 to the 3rd power, or 6 cubed, what is that telling me to do with my 6?
Multiply it 3 times. Well, what is 6 times 6?
Okay, so one thing, it's the smaller number. And then tells how many times to multiply the number. Yeah, just so we get these
Yeah,
ones
I'll
done.
come back.
And Emma's not here today. So Just gotta get this note page done first,
I see.
Isaac. And then over here, 6 to the third equals 6 times 6 times 6. And then stand up when you have your answer, 6 times 6 times 6.
Wait. Yeah.
Didn't it? You wanna go find Mr. Rattley, you can. Alright, Noah, what did you get when you did 6 times 6 times 6?
A really big number.
A really big number, like,
216.
are you sure?
No,
Why not?
because I'm not smart.
Yes, you are correct. It is 216. Alright, so we have our, we have our notes for our factor tree. We have our notes for our exponent. Now, this next page is going to be our problems. You do have an exit ticket today, but I want to get some practice in with you guys. So we are going to be doing practice. What? Same thing as a cool down. It's just not a cool down because it's not an open up lesson. Do you know what exit ticket is? Yeah, we done it before. Yep. Alright, so wherever your practice page is in your notebook, that is what page you need to be on. Less talking. Alright, we are not doing our work on this page. Obviously, there's not enough room. I don't want you to be sloppy. I want you to see what you're doing, how you're doing it, all of that. Wonderful.
Is that one we have in the notebook?
Yes.
I'm just smart.
Okay, so number 2. Well, if you look at number 1, they give you the factor tree that they did. Alright, so the number was 44. They did 4 times 11. 11 we know is a prime number. Raise your hand and tell me, what is a prime number? Ronnie? Right, 1 in itself. And then 4 we learned very quickly with the example we did, can be broken down into 2 times 2. So number 2 is 90. Alright, so what 2 numbers can I multiply 90 by? Emily?
10 times
10 times 9, perfect. Alright. Now, are either one of those prime numbers? 9's gotta be a prime number because it's an odd number, right?
9.
Well, why not? It's an odd number. The majority of the numbers that we deal with that are prime are odd numbers. Emmeline?
You can multiply it like 3 times 3.
So it's got more than one set of factors.
Yeah.
Perfect. Alright, so you said I can multiply this 3 times 3. Alright, Emmeline, is 3 a prime number?
Yeah.
So then I know that I'm good. I'm stopping with that one. Okay? What do we know about 10? Give me the factors for 10. Gemma,
2 times 5.
you said 2 times 5? Okay. Gemma, what do we know about 2 and 5?
Third prime number.
Right, so I'm done then, right? Alright, so tell me one way I can write this. and look back at your notes if you need to. Tell me one way I can write prime factorization using 2, 5, 3, and 3. Troy.
3 to the power of 2 times 2 times.
Perfect. So that's one way. What is another way I can write this? 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. So either way, I will take. I would prefer the exponent way because that is going to be the way ultimately that it's going to be represented on your test. But understanding both ways is fine. All right? Questions about that one? Harder or not as hard as you thought? Not as hard as you thought? All right. So we've already done 48, so we're not doing number 3. All right, let's do number 4. So just when you thought it was easy. All right. Looking at number 4, the number is 204. So do you think there are a lot of multiples that we can use? Or I'm sorry, a lot of factors that we can use to find 204? So how would you go about finding? What did we do yesterday? What did we do yesterday? Delilah? Right, let's look for factors. So over here on the side, 204, 1 times 204. 2 times what gives me 204? Ronnie? 102. Does 3 work? How do you know? How would you figure out if 3 works? Ronnie?
204 divided by 3.
Right, so 204 divided by 3. So I'm not going to make you do this on your paper, but let's do it over here. All right, so what do I multiply 3 by to get 20 without going over? Camden,
6,
which gives me
18.
what do I multiply 3 by to get 24? Zoe?
8.
8. So it does actually work, doesn't it? All right, so then we have 3 times what, 68? What about 4? You think 4 is going to work?
Yes.
All right, Christiana, what'd you get? I can't hear anything.
51 times 4.
Okay. All right, what about 5? So why do we know 5 is not going to work? 5 is probably one of those easiest things to figure out. Kaylee?
It doesn't end in a 0 or a 5.
Doesn't end in a 0 or 5. What about 6? Can we do the same thing over here?
Yeah.
Well, let's try it again. So instead of having a 3, what do I multiply 6 by to get close to 20 without going over? Okay, Kylie.
3.
What do I multiply 6 by to get 24?
It's
Kaya.
that's weird.
So 6 times 34? Alright, so now we have some options to choose from, right? So which one do we want to use of the ones that we've come up with? Kaya. You want to do 6 times 34? Alright, are either one of those numbers a prime number? Nope. Alright, so which one do we want to do first? 6 or 34? And do 6 first? Okay. Alright, so we know 2 times 3. And what do we know about both of those numbers? Leo, what do we know about 2 and 3? Can we multiply anything other than 1 to get either one of those numbers? So then they are what? Starts with a P. They are prime numbers. Alright, what can I multiply to get 34? 2 times what? is what? Levi, what do you think? I just didn't hear you. Don't, never mind, I think you said the right one. What'd you say? What do you say, Kai? That's correct. That's right. Have confidence in yourself. You were right, 100% correct. Have that confidence. All right, so we know that 2 is a prime number. What about 17? 17 a prime number? So some of us are saying yes and some of us are saying no. How do we figure out if 17 is a prime number? What do we have to essentially think about? Delilah? Right, so what are the factors of 17? 1 times 17, so therefore? It's a prime number. All right, so someone go ahead and tell me what the prime factorization is going to look like for this one. Zoe. Say that one more time. Perfect. Or what's another way we can write it? I need new friends. I like my old friends, but I want some new ones. Olivia, how else can I write that?
2 times 2 times 3 times 17.
All right, perfect. All right, I want you guys, as a group, to do number 5 and number 6. When you have 5 and 6 done, raise your hand and I will come check. Easy.
Yeah, because all you have
Alright. Olivia, do you want to come over here and work with 8 and a 9? Alright. So I already and then help me break down. So you can multiply 2 times what? Okay. Okay, so you can separate it again, right? Don't move on. Okay, when you do And I like that both of you guys have different ways on there, so. You can compare that if you want. Yeah, you're done. 24 times 5 squared. Your 2 and your 4 look off. They're supposed to be the same size there. Just kidding. So now I want you guys to try number 8. Try number 8. How are we doing up there? Are we working together?
I'm gonna do 13. Four numbers.
Okay, well, 10. You broke down. You need to work together. Okay, because what are the 2 factors for 10? You have 1 and 10, and 2 and 5. So if you can write 10 down, for that more. But you're numbers now. Okay. Are you having trouble with yours? No, so we don't work out in there. Why don't you have any notes copied down underneath your excellent over there? Yes. Okay. So if you, is this thing gonna work for you, or do you need to do this somewhere else? Alright, you gotta get to work on that. I really. Second grade.
364. I did 2 times 7. One already finished. 28 times 13. No, it's 28 times 13. Probably 3. I did the easy strategy. I did 13 times 2 is 26. 10 times 7 is 12. Which makes me upside down.
Yes, my children. Are you number 8? If you finish, do number 8. Alright, we're going number 8 if you are not, or if you are finished.
Now we have to figure out upside down. Where's the upside down?
Alright, you have about 25 seconds before we are going to go over this.
25 seconds. What's up? A lot of time.
So do number 8 if you have the time, even if you get halfway through. Alright.
So is there any upside? Wait. Christmas tree. 13 times 12.
You don't need to write a division form, just multiply. All it's telling you to do is multiply. About 5 seconds.
We did it.
3, 2, 1. Stop talking. Put your phone your pencils down.
My pencil went on the
I
floor.
didn't say throw that.
I didn't throw it, I promise. It's not.
Alright, we're a tad bit too chatty. Alright, there are a ton of different ways that we can break down 400. Who would like to share one way that they did? Noah, thank you so much for volunteering. I appreciate that. What do you guys do as a group?
Wait, me? You're the only Noah in here.
What'd you do?
40 times 10.
So 40 times 10. Alright, then what did you do?
8 times 5 for 40.
Okay.
And then we circle 5, and then for 8, we did 4 times 2.
Why did you circle 5?
Because it's the thing after that.
What's that thing called?
5.
Yes. Okay, then what?
And then for 4, we did 2 times 2.
Okay. Alright, and then 8 is a prime number, right? Or 10, I'm sorry, is a prime number?
No.
Why? Why? Yes, you do. What can you do with 10?
2 times 5.
2 times 5. And then you've already told me that 2 and 5 are both, what you call it?
Times.
Yes. So what is one way I can write my answer?
2 to the 4th power times 5 to the 2nd power.
Okay. What's another way, Emmeline, that we can write this answer?
2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5.
Alright, perfect. Alright, 56. Kyra, thank you for volunteering. What were the two numbers your group came up with?
8 times 7.
Okay,
And then you circle the 7 because it's a prime number.
perfect.
And then you could multiply 8 by 4 times 2. And then you circle the 2 because it's a prime number.
Perfect.
And then you could multiply 4 by 2 times 2. And then you circle both of the 2's equal to
Sit still, Kyra. Okay. Hey, sit still. You're driving me crazy. Okay, sorry. Kyra, finish it off by telling me one way to write it.
2 to the power of 30 times 7.
Or,
Or 2 times 2 times 2 times 7.
alright, perfect. Alright, so a little bit of prime factorization, a little bit of going, oh, we gotta do number 8, sorry. Just kidding. Alright, so number 8, what did you notice about number 8? It's what? Levi?
Different.
Yes. How is it different?
Was the overtime number like 4 number?
Nope. How is 8 different from what we've been doing? How is 8 different? Delilah?
It's giving us all multiplication instead of giving us the whole number with the, we have to find the factors and figure out this prime number.
Okay, so what are each one of these then?
Prime.
They're all prime numbers. So essentially they've given us the prime factorization. We have to find the whole number. Alright, so what did you get when you did 2 times 2? What do you get? Let me rephrase my question then. What do we get when we do 2 times 2? Christiana. 4 times 7, Christiana. 28 times 13, Christiana. Oh, my Lord, child. How does everybody in your group have it except for you? Elisa, what did you come up with?
260.
Close. Check your hundreds.
360.
There we go. Alright. So again, just giving you kind of an example of the reverse of what we've been doing all day. Alright, you are going to get your exit ticket, which means you are not working together anymore. You have 5 questions on your exit ticket today. This is for a grade, just like a cool down. When you are done with your cool down, your exit ticket, first period, then, and you're coming to me to get your homework. You do have homework today. Please take your practice problem sheet And I want you to glue it in to where you can flip this up and see your work. So you're gluing it in essentially across the title of your page today. All right, please make sure you put your name on your exit ticket. I'm gonna do that here, so if you would like to work on your homework around the room, if you have time, and you can have your exit ticket, I have no problem with that.